Hello, and we are in the Atlanta. This is a replay that I have selected from wowreplay.com. A lot of good replays here. And we are in a domination battle. And we are in a T5 to 7 game. And there's quite interesting matchmaking here. There is 2 battleships on the Atlanta, our Atlanta's team, and there is 3 on the other team, and the rest are made up of cruisers and destroyers, which means this is quite a cruiser/destroyer heavy game, which is brilliant for the Atlanta. The thing the Atlanta hates the most is battleships, and I guess heavy cruisers, but ultimately the Atlanta loves destroyers. Well, I guess you could say that also the Atlanta also loves battleships, you know, putting its HE on all over it. But yes, so our Atlanta is moving into the sea cap with the grade, which is nice. It's not often that Atlantas go up front very often. It's also an area where there's not actually that much cover, so if a few ships decide to come into here, there's going to have problems. However, nicely, the grade decides to throw up a whole lot of smoke, which is German smoke, which is the worst smoke you can get, but the Atlanta can use this smoke and it can pop its radar, which is super useful. So, this Farragut, just below sea, thinks it's safe. And here we go. Guitar string is telling them that there are, oh there we go, like a whole load of boats to kill here. Telling he's radaring, and straight in, he is just taking him down. And the Atakazuki knows exactly where it is. This is playing into Guitar String's hands absolutely perfectly. And this should be the finishing blow. There we go, that last shell did it. Now, Guitar String is going to move up forwards. Well, he should move up forwards. He's waiting for him to what to do. You can see he's using his torpedoes here. You can see that he's seeing when he's going to start moving forwards, and he's not moving forwards. And here is the Farragut's torpedoes, which did not do anything to him personally. So, Guitar String is moving up forwards nice and slowly, and is waiting for the perfect opportunity. Here it is, and go. He's moving backwards. Let's get some of those shells in there. Straight away, 2.5k damage, and Akatsuki realizes there's nothing he can do. Second kill of the game. That is quite intense. Now, this is where String will switch over to AP and fire AP into the Nuremberg. All those 14 shells on the broadside is going to do a lot of damage. That said, the Nuremberg is now angling away, so he switches over to the shores. And here we go. 14 shells of AP being fired into the shores. 4,000 damage. It's every few seconds as well. It's powerful. This is where I'll probably switch over to HE here, and he does do that. That's brilliant. And he can use this island to get the shells over the top, which is brilliant as well. He's still managed to get a few shells over the top. He's not spotted. This is one of the good things about the Atlanta. You can place yourself behind islands like this, and you'll be able to shoot over the top. And he's still going after the shores. He's doing alright. Looks like the enemy team have really messed up this one. The Allied team has taken all 3 caps, which is impressive, I must say. Right, there's a Nagata moving in here. Might be a good time to start using torpedoes, however, the Nagata is too far away. It's 6 kilometers away, and the torpedo range for the Atlanta is only 4.5 kilometers. He pops his anti-air to get rid of one plane, which is quite clever, to be honest. And he's still not spotted. He's firing AP in there, doing 5k salvo, which is a lot of damage, and this damage racks up pretty quickly. At the moment, He's just been detected, which means he should move forward a little bit before those guns start being focused on him. You can see those guns are turning around towards you. He's moving forward nice and slowly, but this is where Starstring is in his first risky position. You can see that Nagato is looking to get some shells off into him, but luckily he gets out of the way just in time. Despite the fact that the Allied team had a whole load of caps, the Allied team has lost a whole load of ships as well. Guitar String has killed 2, and 3 have been killed in the enemy team, whereas 5 of the Allied boats have been killed, which is not particularly that great. However, we've got a Nuremberg moving around towards the Atlanta, and the Nagato is hidden behind that island somewhere, so he's got to play it safe. He can't come out and start jumping the gun in case the Nagato one-shots him to death. It's a tough call here. And it looks like the Nuremberg is moving away. It's interesting how this strategy played out. The Allied team did have the absolute upper hand in the sense that they had all 3 caps, but all the boats decided to move back and allow the enemy to take sea. There's also a small fleet over at sea with Guitar String. And this can be quite tricky, especially when you're in Atlanta. You don't want to be outnumbered. It's only that Aoba you're supporting one on this side. It's probably a wise idea, in my opinion, to start moving out of this area and move towards B. This way you have more backup from your team. With more backup, you won't be the centre of attention. You can then use the other boats to distract. And Guitar String does just that and moves forwards. But unfortunately, the Allied team just keep dying. It looks like the team over at A has just disintegrated. 7 kills on the Allied team versus 4 kills on on the enemy team. However, here's the shores again. Might be a good idea to switch over to AP here, but he's sticking with HE, hoping to get some fires possibly. And HE is still quite strong. And he knew he was going to be able to get away from the enemy because of this big island here, which is a useful tool to use. I always say the best armour is mountain armour. Nothing can shoot through mountain. But anyway, it's interesting that Guitar String's team is actually ahead on points by a decent margin, to be honest. We've still got the cap advantage. They've only got the kill advantage, which can easily change at any minute. Right, he is detected. He's got to be aware of this. He secures that kill, and now he's going to start thinking about this Nagato. He decides to fire AP. As you can see on the screen, I have the mod that tells you how angled the ship is, and you can see 74 degrees, not too bad, although this looks pretty devastating here. That's what happens if you sail in straight lines. Right, so our team has managed to pull it back to equal kills. The only issue is the enemy team is about to cap B, which is not good. But one small reprieve is that they're mostly DDs, and DDs is what Atlantas like to kill. But as long as they're quite close range, even at this shortish range, you can see how crazy these arcs are. Now, this DD thinks it's going to be able to smoke up, but it can't. Because we have the radar. Radar is so cruel. Right, the only thing we've got to be aware of is this foe attacker, because they can have pretty heavy shells. And there we go, and we've got the 4th kill and a Confederate. So far, so good. For the first time in this match, since the first time since the start of the match, Guitar String's team is finally in the lead with regards to kills. Now we have a half dead, well, mostly dead foe attacker. This will only need a whole lot of not AP, HE to be thrown on top of him, and he's going to melt pretty quickly. Especially if he gives a larger broadside, it makes it much easier to hit. There we go, he's melting nice and quickly. Not much the foe attacker could do with the very slow reload. And one more hit, and he'll be able to take that down. Oh my god. There we go, the fire killed him. I was going to get worried there for a second. And yes, so he just secured the Kraken, which is absolutely brilliant. It's a pretty decent pullback in this game. Well, it's quite a fast pullback in this game as well. He is detected by the radar. Now that would be from the Gaid. So, the only guys left really are the BBs and one destroyer. Now, are the BBs left because they didn't move in fast enough, didn't support their team, or are they just absolutely fantastic players? Well, the New Mexico does have 2 kills, so that's okay. Koenig, well, no kills, but doesn't mean he didn't play well. Only time will tell. Anyway, Starstring spots the Gaid, and he's going to start raining down his HE onto that little boat. 4,000 damage in one hit, not bad at all. Now you take a few more salvos, and he'll be dealt with. And here we go, this should be it, this should be it. There we go. High caliber. 114,000 damage. Which is quite a lot of damage considering how many DDs he's been targeting. Now it's just a question of capping up this cap, securing the game, and enjoying all the credits that he's going to earn. He's definitely played this well. You can see how well he used these arcs. You can see how well he used the terrain, which is a very important thing to do. He made sure that he was focusing on the correct ships. Luckily there were a lot of good ships to kill. And he saw how he did not overextend himself. That's a thing you must learn. If you are playing the Atlanta, do not overextend yourself too much because you will be outnumbered. I think the Atlanta is one of those pretty decent fun ships that would take a while to learn how to play properly. You can have a lot of horrid games where you're deleted just from one small mistake. But once you get that balance right, you're going to be able to really control a game, especially if you're attacking the right boats, just one by one, picking it off nice and slowly. So, Starstring is moving towards C. Now obviously the New Mexico is capping in C. And we know that New Mexico hasn't moved past the center line inside C because Starstring will be able to see him. So Starstring is going to go sneakily in between this gap here, hoping that New Mexico doesn't see him too soon, so it's kind of a race against time here. And he wants to jump out and maybe throw his torps. Starstring's moving to the side a little bit, just so he can get himself a little bit extra time here. If he moves himself towards the port side here, or no, the starboard side slightly, he'll be able to get the right sort of angle here. Right, the Mexico is coming through the gap, which is exactly what Starstring wants. He's going to put himself just round the corner here, and as it comes through, he's been spotted by an airplane. Not what he wants. But he's going to concentrate on topping this guy here, waiting for just the perfect time. Maybe he should have popped that a little bit sooner, and then he could have destroyed that plane sooner. But hopefully, Starstring gets this kill. Well, he gets 2 top hits, not too bad at all. There is flooding damage still going, but it's just stopped. He's obviously hit with repair. Now, turning around the other side. more torpedoes to fling out. Right, let's hope he doesn't get deleted here. And, oh, not much you can do here. He's got to hope for those torpedoes to really push in nice and hard. Hopefully those torpedoes are hit before his next salvo, because he's going to be deleted. And it looks like he's going to get it. Yes, he does. He gets the kill shot. Great battle. Let's go over to the results. Okay, so the results of this game were pretty impressive. 654,000 credits, 9,000 XP, and he did 163,000 damage and 7 kills. That's impressive by anyone's standard, especially for an Atlanta. He came by far the top of the team with 3,600 XP, which is pretty insane, especially for a T5-7 game. I'm impressed by that. As we can see here, he completely murders all of these ships. Does take 18,000 damage, but mainly from the New Mexico at the end. That shows you how fragile the ship can be. He captured one of the 3 caps, getting 100 capture points. And yes, he did a lot of damage. Anyway, so just to recap, if you are playing Atlanta, use your terrain. The mountain is the best armor you can get. Do not overextend yourself. Don't try and go into battle, fights against cruisers and battleships in open waters, because you will die. You want to stay sneaky. You want to be like a little ninja. You want to stay behind rocks, and you want to plan where you're going to go. When you're leaving one position, you need to know where you're going to afterwards. Anyway, that was a good match, and I thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and if you have any questions, please post them in the comments, and I'll catch you guys later.